Hello my friends, the other day I was in my game library looking at all of these games and I was seeing games that I really loved and wanted to play, but they're like been out of print for a while and not a lot of people know about them for some reason because they just didn't have a huge staying power. I was like, I should cover my top 5 games that most people probably haven't heard of because I just thought it would be fun. So that's what we're doing today. Now granted, these are not games, these aren't games that are like super obscure titles that maybe had a print run of 100 in some other language. These aren't like that. That's probably going to be a different list. This is one where these games came out, most of them by like big name publishers with probably a decent sized print run, but they never made it past the first print run and it was like a flash in the pan. They came and went. It's been years since they've come out and you can't really get them even on the secondary market anymore, and there's no idea that they're going to be reprinted anytime soon. So I kind of wanted to give these attention to bring your attention to it, but also maybe if you like it, go on Board Game Geek and such and ask for them to do a reprint of it if you're interested, because this might help get these games reprinted, which is half the reason why I'm doing this. I want these games back into life so that you can enjoy them too. So let's talk about my top 5 games that you probably haven't heard of.
Number 5.
Number 5 is just a zany, crazy little game called Why First. This came out by EEG. This game is just chaotic fun, where in this game, it's called Why First because you don't want to be first, you want to be second. The game is multiple rounds, and players have cards in their hand, ranging from like +5 to -5, I think, somewhere around there. And what you're doing is, on the count of 3, you are taking a card from your hand, and you're all giving it to a player at the same time. And so people are going to be moving up, and they're going to be moving back, they're going to be moving up, they're going to be moving back. And you do that multiple times, and at the end of the round, whoever's second wins that round. And you get a certain amount of points depending on where you are on the board. Now, the interesting thing is, at the end of the game, it's not who's first that wins, much like the game, it's whoever's second wins. So it's got this wacky thing where like you never want to be first, you want to be exactly second. But you don't want to be first in points, you want to be second at the end. So if you're in the lead, you almost want to lose and make the person who's in second go ahead of you, which means making them go second. It's crazy and zany, but it's fun. It's silly. You're just guessing what other people are going to be doing. You're all like table talking, messing with people. Hey, I'm going to put it on him, but you put it on someone else. It's one of those crazy fun little games, but it is an absolute blast. It's one of those experience games that's just so fun, and I really wish it would come back.
Number 4.
The next one is a trick-taking game called Pups. This came out from Bank Inc., designer Charlie Bank. This is a fantastic trick-taking game that has some unique things about it. Plus, it's got dogs for a theme, and it's just beautiful. There are lots of different breeds there. A few things that makes this game really different is, well, Trump changes every round, which is kind of cool, and there are different dog types. When you bid, you get different cards, and you can bid a card as at least, like I'm going to win at least 1, 2, or 3 tricks or something like that, and you'll win a certain amount of points for that. But if you flip the card over, it's exact. So now I'm going to bid exactly 1, 2, or 3, however many tricks that card says, and basically you're going to like double your points. So it's like you get to decide, do I want to get at least or double? Am I like far behind and I can catch up really easy by getting exact? Or if I'm in the lead, I can be more conservative and try to keep that lead. The other thing is if you don't make your bid, that's minus points. However, in a future round when you get your bid card, you can try to take a bid card you lost and got you minus points earlier, and if you get it this time, it flips to good. So you've taken a minus point, made it a positive point. It's a huge swing. Making something bad in a previous round become good in a new round is just a great feeling. There's a 0 bid card, and you can actually, if you win that, later you can use it as saying I won an extra trick. That will help you like buy or win an exact bid. There's also a suit called Mutts that adds specific, like a couple of values, like +1, +2 to your trick. But it also makes the round end earlier than expected, which means you can surprise end a round quicker than people are ready to, which is interesting. There's a lot of really interesting twists here, but it's a great, great trick-taking game, Pups.
Number 3.
This next one is called Rattlebones. This came out from Rio Grande Game. This is a dice crafting game. And this game, from my memory, this game came out, I think maybe around like 2013-ish. It came out before a lot of the dice crafting games came out that were more popular than this, where you're getting all these little pieces and you're putting them on the dice and you're changing your die values and this and that. This essentially is a family game, but it is like a roll and move with strategy because you've got 3 pawns on the board. You're going to roll a die. If it's a die value, you get to move any one of your people that many things, and then you get to add. Most of the time, you're adding something to one of your dice, and so you're deciding what to take off, and you're deciding basically what you're putting on there by moving which person you move. And every game is different because each game has a bunch of different things that you could put on your dice. You're crafting your dice. Maybe you're getting a train, and as you roll the dice, instead of getting a value, you're going to be getting these things that you've put on the dice. So you might get a train, and every time you get the train, you get more points. But then after a while, it goes down. But it's a community thing. So if someone else is getting trains, they're also trying to get it to the top and then get it down. And once you've passed the big scoring opportunity, well, maybe you take that off and you put something else on there. So it's you're morphing your strategy during the game. Sometimes there's a gambling die, which just gets you a certain amount of points depending on what happens. Sometimes you're selling a certain amount of stars that you might collect over the course of the game at certain spots. Sometimes you're getting stocks, which you can get a bunch of points for having majorities of those. Sometimes you're putting arrows on your die to point it to another ability you want, giving it more chances of being there. Sometimes you're getting gold that allows you to roll more than one die. There's just all these different little abilities, and you don't use them all every game. And I felt like this game was so fun because the dice crafting was a blast. The roll and move with strategy was a blast. It was so fun. It kind of came and went. I think this is one that you can still pick up some copies on the secondary market, but I'd love to see this thing get reprinted, and that is Rattlebones.
Number 2.
Number 2 is a small little card game from my favorite designer, Bruno Cathala. This came out called Zany Penguins, and this came out, I think, through Asmodee at the time. Bombix, I think, maybe published it. Now, in this case, you have some cards in your hand, and it's like you're splitting your hand. You're taking 2 cards, and you're passing it to the neighbor to your left, and you're taking 2 cards and passing to the neighbor to your right, which means you're getting those cards from them. Then, from the hand of cards, you're simultaneously playing a card face down. Once everyone's ready, you flip it up. And these cards have different values, and they have different sceneries, like the ocean and the moon and the city and the jungle. And you're trying to basically have majorities in a certain region, because at the end of the game, whoever has the majority gets to score all of the cards in their hand with that color, or that scenery. But there's a trick, because you need to play cards with good values in a lot of cards to win the majorities, which essentially is taking points away from you because the cards that you want to keep are the ones that actually score you points if you win the majority. But if you don't win, you only get to get your single card, one card from that to score. So it's this weird dichotomy where it's I want to play cards to win this, but I only get to score the cards in my hand from that. It was like this twist. Also, there's cards with lower powers, lower abilities, lower numbers, and they do different things, like playing 2 cards next turn, or exploding higher numbers that were played that turn, or you get to see what other players play first next turn before you play your cards. And so yeah, you're trying. This game is very much like a game called Arboretum, but it was in reverse, where you're playing cards to win majorities and you're scoring the ones in your hand. Where in Arboretum, you're getting majorities in your hand and you're scoring what's out on the table. It's exactly the reverse, but with an I split you choose mechanism as well. And again, if you don't win, you get 1 card to score, right? Where if you score all of them, you get the majorities. So great strategy, great little game. I'd love to see this one come back. Cute theme, cute art, and all that stuff. Zany Penguins.
Number 1.
My number 1 game is also from Rio Grande Games. This is called Cinque Terre, which essentially is the 5 villages. This game has a feeling of weight of Ticket to Ride. It also has some mechanisms that feel like Ticket to Ride. It's very smooth, has some similarities to it as well. And there's actually a Board Game Geek forum post, which if this looks good to you, I encourage you to go there and ask for a reprint. There's a forum post on Board Game Geek for this that says, hey, any reprint soon. There's 3 pages of people saying, yes, I want it. If this looks good, go on there and do it. The original designer, Chris Handy, I believe, has the rights to this, maybe. And I've been trying to get him to reprint it. So in this game, you're essentially picking up, you're harvesting vegetables at certain regions, and then you're bringing them to other regions to sell them. Now the cool thing is that each game is different. So you're going to roll all these dice at the beginning of the game, and each die is one's a zucchini, one's a squash, one's a different vegetables, and that tells you how much it's worth. So if you go to a spot that has a grape that has a die of 6, if you sell it there, you get $6, or 6 points essentially. However, so every game, things are going to be worth different, but you have secret goals and you have public goals that you're trying to get to by having certain vegetables in certain cities or certain villages, and you're trying to get these done. Now, much like Ticket to Ride, when you've got a route going, you finished a ticket and you get more tickets. You're trying to find new tickets that like overlap the routes that you already have. So it's like, oh, all I gotta do is do this one route and I've got this ticket done too. And that is a great feeling at Ticket to Ride. This uses that same mechanism where you're building up what you've delivered to certain villages and you're getting new tickets, quote unquote, contracts to fulfill. And you're like, oh, great, I've already got this there, this there, this there. All I gotta do is go put a mushroom in this and I've got it. Great, let's do it. You're doing that. You're trying to get to be the MVP to have all 8 spots or sold 8 things in a certain village. You're racing for that. You're drawing cards like Ticket to Ride in order to be able to pick up those certain harvest those vegetables to put in others. So you're moving around, you're playing cards to get things, you're using those things to deliver them, and you're either going to be going for just straight points or you're trying to actually fulfill contracts. Some of them are secret. It's so awesome. It's smooth, and I feel like it's in the same sentence as Ticket to Ride. Like, that's how much I like this game, and I just hope it comes back, and that is Cinque Terre. All right, well, I hope this helped you learn about some games that maybe you probably haven't heard of. I'm guessing 50% of people have not heard of most of these games. And if these look good to you and you want them reprinted, go on Board Game Geek, start a forum there on each of these games that you want, and say, hey, I just watched this video from Dan, and I'd like a reprint. Who else wants one? Let's try to get these things reprinted so you guys can play these too. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games, and helping you on the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. In their 5.0 Kickstarter, they found a way to deflate prices to pre-pandemic levels without sacrificing their quality brand, and in some cases by $200, plus dropping the shipping price as much as 50%, saving another $100. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to late pledge now.